Hey guys, this is Dan with Gears and Gadgets. Thanks for tuning in. So I'm out here right now, just taking the bike for a little bit of a test ride after doing some of that wrenching yesterday. Just looking for any oil from the oil filter. I will say after doing these grips, the front brake lever is definitely low. Much better. That's why I carry these tools. These Cox bags, I actually got these off Amazon. They're actually like toiletry bags. Work perfect for keeping your saddlebags nice and organized. So I get my mirrors nice and adjusted here. I am going to switch these mirrors out, I think also for the Harley-Davidson Dominion series. Go with the blacked out mirrors. So out here on the road, everything feels good. Bike is running good. These new grips feel great. These Dominion grips, the little gnarled feel on them, just feels really, really good on the hand. Certainly far more premium feeling than the original grips that came on the bike from the factory. These are a much more premium feel for sure. And very happy that I did it. Now, the fuel caps, I can already tell also that the rattle that I used to get from the ones that came from the factory, those chrome ones, is all but gone. They're just on here much more. What the fuck?
You got a leaky spark tube.
With this video, I wanted to talk about a little bit more about why I do my own wrenching. And, you know, you could take your bike to either a Harley dealership or an independent shop, you know, like John Maxwell is running down there in Georgia. And there's nothing wrong with that, especially if you're not confident in your ability to wrench. Now, for me, I come from a family, you know, my father, he really was wrenching on weekends so that he could get his vehicle in running order just to get to work on Monday. It certainly wasn't a hobby. It was a necessity. And even once my father got to the point where he was able to afford to take things to a shop, he continually still, you know, wrenches on his own things in the driveway. And a portion of that, I think, is just out of habit. But you also learn to become frugal in the sense of why pay somebody else to do something if you could just do it yourself. Now, a lot of people say they don't want to spend the time and the effort and energy, and you know, there's also an argument to be made about the professional ability of a mechanic versus a shade tree mechanic. But I have found over the years that there really hasn't been a whole lot of things that I've gotten myself into that I couldn't get myself out of. What I mean by that is there has certainly been plenty of times where I have lefty-loosied myself into a complete panic, trying to figure out what I need to be doing to get things back together. But it really comes down to that whole idea of righty tighty lefty loosey. If you can take it apart, you should be able to put it back together. When you get into some more complex things, or a motorcycle where you only have two wheels and the safety aspect of it becomes much more important, that complicates things, definitely. But routine maintenance stuff, or even as far as changing my own tires, if I see a path towards being able to do it myself, I'll do it. Now, I'm not going to change my own car tires. That's obviously a much more ambitious project. But for a motorcycle, it just seemed like it was within reach, so I did it. And that's kind of the way that I treat it. I also take a lot of pride in the tools that I have gathered over the years doing these kinds of projects. For the most part, the tools you buy are tools you can use across the board, and you're saving a boatload of money, then turning around and putting it into tools, kind of investing in yourself, unless you're buying super specialized tools. The tools really aren't that expensive. But again, once you have them, you have them. And you can continually wrench on your own things. So that's kind of the motivation behind it, I guess, like financially, is it's just way cheaper to do it yourself in the long term. And you also gain some skills.
Like nunchuck skills, bow hunting skills, computer hacking skills. Girls only want boyfriends who have great skills.
Now, the other part of that is time. I hear a lot of people argue about, like, well, I'd rather just kind of drop the vehicle off, and my time is worth more than spending it in the garage on the ground, throwing tools all over the place. And, you know, I have spent my fair share of time in shops for, say, warranty work, and I know that warranty work versus paid work, you're still going to the shop. It's still the same experience, just whether you're paying for it or not. So money aside, talking about time as the constraint, you spend more time sitting in waiting rooms at shops than what you probably could be doing wrenching on it yourself. So whether it's taking time off of work on a Tuesday, a half a day because you got to go sit at the dealership while somebody else wrenches on your stuff, okay, you're sitting in some waiting room watching Home and Garden TV. Do you really want to be spending your time there, or would you rather be in your garage learning something, turning wrenches, and kind of figuring it out for yourself? I would much rather be doing it myself and save that time during the week for work. So either way, you're spending time. It's just whether you're spending it at home, doing it yourself, or spending it at the dealership watching episodes of Flip or Flop or whatever they call it. That's kind of my take on the time aspect of it. And the other part of it is just kind of learning the things that you own. Crawling underneath a new vehicle, my new truck that I just bought, climbing underneath that thing and trying to figure out where is the oil filter. When I unscrew this thing, where is the oil going to drop out of? Where's the oil pan? It's kind of hidden on this truck, which is the first time I had to kind of ask, where's the oil pan? But you just kind of go through these discovery phases of learning the equipment. And I think that you are much more in tune with your stuff if you do your own wrenching. Now, I am not opposed to going to the dealership, and I've kind of told myself that I think what I'm going to do with this bike, it has 18,028 miles on it. What I'm going to do when it hits 20,000 is take it to the dealership for its first service. Literally at 20,000 miles is going to be my first service at the dealership. But I'm going to do that because I want them to go ahead and check the bearings on the steering head, some things that are a little bit more specialized. Being a motorcycle and the safety implications that come with that, at 20,000, I'll bring it in, have it kind of gone through, but I'm still going to do the fluids myself. You know, before I take it in at 20,000, I'm still going to do the primary crankcase oil, all that stuff. I'm not paying somebody else to do that. I just don't see it as a useful expense, I guess. So that's kind of my take on it. You know, the bike I think is a little bit more unique because of the safety aspects of a motorcycle, that you know, having a professional look at it. So that's kind of my take. I'm not looking down on anybody who goes to a dealership or doesn't maybe have the skill set or even desire to have the skill set to wrench on things. I respect that, but that's not who I am. Again, I'd rather be frustrated throwing tools across the garage and getting to the end of a project myself and saving the money and learning some things along the way. That's my take. So guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Again, if this is your first time tuning in, please hit that subscribe button down below. Remember, likes go a long way to help support the channel. I'll see you guys next time.